Vigata, what's up, guys? What is going on? Hope everybody's doing well. Welcome back. Manchester United versus Tottenham 1-0. First and foremost, congrats to Tottenham. I got to say, I didn't watch the whole entirety of the game, so I missed stoppage time and definitely the ceremony, the trophy ceremony. So when I got to see today in the highlights, I got to see Son hoist up that trophy. I'm not gonna lie, I got the feels. I got the feels because it's been a long time coming, not just for Tottenham, but for a player like Son. I know he's been in the club for I think it's 10 years, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. So it was really, really nice to see that. And no matter what team you support or what team you're against, I mean that to me at least, because I'm not a diehard anything fan. It was just really nice to see that, despite my wanting Manchester United to win this game, just because of the season that they were having in the Europa final in the Europa League. I thought they were having a really, really good run and just wanted it to end on a high note. I mean, why not? I wasn't following Tottenham, so maybe they were having an amazing campaign as well. But I definitely wanted this to go to Manchester United because of the way they were playing in the quarterfinals, in the semifinals. I just thought it was appropriate to end on a bang. But I guess they faced the English team. That was the issue with Manchester United. Had they faced I don't know, a Scottish team, a Portuguese team, a French team, another French team, right? Another Spanish team. Maybe they would have won it, and they would have won it in style. And they didn't. They just didn't. And the whole game, look, you can't compare this final to anything that's been happening with the quarterfinals and the semifinals in the Champions League. Having said that, it was a mediocre game. It started off well. Both sides. Diallo had chances. On one end, on Tottenham's end, and Brendan Johnson with a mistake from Harry Maguire trying to, I don't know, pass it to Luke Shaw, which I appreciated, but maybe should have cleared it. Ends up almost gifting Brendan Johnson a goal. But there were chances. There were definitely chances from Manchester United, especially, and then from Tottenham as well. Udogie with a counter to Solanke. I don't know what happened. That was the 2-0 to completely snuff out Manchester United. There were a bunch of opportunities. Rasmus Højlund getting that header. Van de Ven with the last minute save. Diallo, like I said, had several opportunities. I thought he did well in that first half. He got like 3, 4, 5 people on top of him, but he was doing interesting stuff against Udogie, who was having a really hard time, but then ended up having a really good match himself. With the counters, and defense from Udogie was simply, I mean, on point. Actually, once they scored that goal, Tottenham, once they scored that goal, they just sat back and just simmered. They just simmered all the way until the end. They just waited it out, and they did a really good job with Romero, Van de Ven. Really, really good job from Tottenham on that end. But Manchester United, they just let everybody down. Bruno Fernandes in the second half, that header for the beautiful pass center from Mazraoui, and he had time to control it. He had time to bring it down, man. A player of his stature, I don't know what he was thinking. He's not known for scoring headers, but that should have gone in. Even as a header, that should have gone in. He had more than enough time. Garnacho, when he came in, he had a really good shot. Vicario saving it. Vicario had a horrible game. Some really bad clearances. I'm shocked that Manchester United weren't able to take advantage of that. It's just really upsetting. I'm not gutted because I'm not a diehard Manchester United fans, but I am upset because, again, the campaign that they were having, and then they end up dropping the ball this way. Rasmus Højlund once again making too early of a run, not being quick enough for the run. Mason Mount was a phantom. He was a ghost. For me, I didn't even feel him one bit. Bruno Fernandes was trying his best. I wouldn't go as far as point the finger at him either. Definitely led. He was definitely trying to lead towards the end of the match, or throughout the whole game, but towards the end, he was trying to do everything he could to try to getting somebody near that goal. It just didn't happen for him that night. Dorgu, I thought was great. Mazraoui was good. Yoro, I would say he was good, except for that one. To me, it was still a blunder. He was waiting for Nana to get to the ball, didn't. He ends up getting away from his marker. I don't know if it was Solanke or Brendan Johnson. And then he sees Luke Shaw completely by himself. And then he sees, again, whether it was Solanke or Brendan Shaw coming towards him. He had enough time to see him. It's not like the guy surprised him. And he tries to juke him as well. He tries to get away from him as well, and ends up losing the ball when he was the last man, trying to dribble in the back like that. I do not know what he was thinking. He did really well in problem solving and getting away from whoever it was that was chasing him, being the last man, and then pass it. To me, that would have spelled catastrophe. To me, that was a goal. That was a written goal. It was a surprise that Tottenham didn't end up scoring from that opportunity. Absolutely shocked that they didn't score. Aside from that, he had a good game. Mainu, I don't know why Mainu came in so late in the game, especially with the way Rasmus Holm was playing. I would have put him up front. Definitely would have tried something erratic or even desperate, but I definitely would have taken Rasmus Holm out a long time ago, or just earlier than that. Maguire, for all the hate that he gets, I thought he had a good game. Yeah, he did give the ball away on a few occasions, but I thought he was solid, and I did like the work that he put in that night. Luke Shaw, I know Luke Shaw is a very stoic type of player, very blasé footballer. But man, that is way too blasé for me. The thing I like of Luke Shaw is he's not one of these players that's like amping up the crowd after like a simple corner kick or it's a throw-in, bro, and you're like amping up the crowd. He doesn't do that. I saw Diallo do that when he got a corner kick or something like that. That's something that Vinicius does all the time. But if you're gonna be that kind of blasé type of player like Luke Shaw, at least back it up with your football. And he did not do that in this game. Forget about the goal. The goal wasn't even a Brendan Johnson goal. Brendan Johnson completely missed the ball, and the ball ended up hitting I think Luke Shaw's elbow or shoulder, and ended up just trickling inside. Dory was marking Brendan Johnson, and you see Luke Shaw communicating something until Dory be like, you got him, you got him, you got him, until no, you don't got him. I guess I got him, but I don't really got him. And then they end up scoring a goal from that. Very upsetting that the game turned out the way it did. It wasn't definitely wasn't an entertaining game whatsoever. It was a very frustrating game seeing Manchester United playing the way they play in the Premier League. I was hoping I was going to see Manchester United the way they've been playing in Europa. And honestly, Manchester United fans, what were you guys expecting? You were going to win this, and you're going to be qualified for Champions League. What were you going to do in Champions League? Oh, but we're going to be strengthened. We're going to be fortified. We're going to have recruitments. Even so, if you had that, I don't think you'd be ready for a Champions League. You're going to be knocked out as soon as you start playing the Champions League. Before you know it, you're going to be out of the Champions League. Honestly, what is the point? I don't think you guys were anywhere near ready to be playing Champions League football. Aside from that, I definitely wanted Manchester United to win this Europa final, but to be in Champions League, you guys are nowhere near. I think you guys were hoping to be able to say something what PSG are saying this year in Barcelona, that, oh, remember last year, we were nowhere near Champions League, and all of a sudden, we got a new coach, we got one or two new players, and then everything suddenly changed for us. I think you guys were hoping that's what was going to happen next year, that you were going to be able to say, oh, last year, I didn't expect that we were going to make it this far in Champions League. I don't think with Manchester United that's going to happen. I could see that with Chelsea. If Chelsea's playing, I can see that happen with Chelsea because they have the team. Even though with a coach like Maresca, they're not going anywhere either. So don't you worry. Anyways, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.